The materials for your demo will be a pan, a instructional guide, the tools. I usually allow kids to handle the scissors, the forceps, and the pokers, but try to only keep one scalpel just for you to use, especially if you're dealing with younger kids. Gloves, buy the one size fits all or the size small. And there are three different instructional guides, our model, and of course the eyeballs, which usually come in a small pail. You can also have the instructional poster. All the tools that you will need for your eyeball dissection are conveniently located in one nice little bin. First, with safety, this is raw meat and there may be different bacteria on it, although they are soaked in formaldehyde. But it's best to make sure that you wash your hands before and after, wear gloves. So the first thing that you want to look at with the cow eyeball is its muscles. So all of the area back here around is all different fat and muscles. Often I like to have kids feel their eye sockets and feel all the muscle that's around behind the bones. And the first thing you're going to do is get the scissors and cut away all the fat. You can talk about how strong it is. You can talk about with how cow eyeballs look just like human eyeballs. And the next thing is on the outside of here is the cornea. You can have one of the kids turn to another kid. You can see how you have this small outline that sticks out from the eyeball, and that is the cornea. And cut through the cornea, right on the outside here. And when you cut through the outside, you'll see some liquid will come out, and it's quite tough to get through the cornea, which is used, the cornea is used for protection of the eye and to keep it holding its shape, because that is the aqueous humor that is coming out of there. The aqueous humor is what comes out of the cornea. And the cornea is really tough because if you think of a cow eyeball, or if you have to get a stick stuck in your eye or dirt stuck in your eye, it's really good to have the tough outer membrane. Or the cow, how they're always down on the ground eating, and sticks and grass are getting in their eyes. It's good for a cow to have really strong protective eyes. So you can cut the entire outside of the cornea off. Once you have cut through the cornea and shown how tough it is and found the aqueous humor inside of it, you're going to cut straight through the side, right here, the sclera. And the sclera is the white outer membrane that you can see when you can see the whites of somebody's eyes. You're looking at their sclera. So we're going to cut the sclera right in the middle of the eye. And I found the best way to do this is just to puncture the sclera, and it's really tough as well. Cut it in half right down the middle. Okay. So you're going to end up with two halves. The front half, we have the cornea, and on the back half, we have the optic nerve. As you see, we have all of this jelly inside of it, and this clear jelly is called the vitreous humor. And your eyeball is mainly made up of vitreous humor, which is this see-through jelly, which is made up of water and protein. The purpose of the lens is to direct the light in the correct area and to move it around. And the cool thing with the lens is you can actually see through it. You can see through it and everything is upside down. Everything you see is upside down. And another cool thing with the lens is that you can magnify words with it. Pull out the iris here, and you can see the pupil is just the hole through the middle of it, and the iris is all the way around on the outside. So this is what, the iris is what gives your eye color. This cow had brown eyes, so if I cut out my own eyeballs, this part would be green here. And the iris is this really neat muscle that contracts and expands as light enters or closes. So as you can look at somebody in the eye, and if you shine a really big light or make them close their eyes and then open them really quickly, you'll notice their pupil dilate or get really small. And that's actually not their pupil getting smaller, it's their iris getting bigger. All right, now we're going to be looking into the back of the half of the eye. And in the back half of the eye, we already saw the vitreous humor, and this also has the retina and the optic nerve. The retina is what holds the rods and the cones, and it is what can detect light. It is what will detect light. It goes there, and then it goes into, you can see the spot where the retina is stuck. And that is considered your blind spot, and that's right at your optic nerve, where it sends all of its signals up to the brain. Light goes through your pupil, through the lens, through the vitreous humor, into the retina. The retina can tell you what it is, send it to the brain. And then the last thing, and if you look all the way back to the back of the eye here, you can find the optic nerve. And you can see actually all of the little separate fibers that make up the optic nerve. Right. And then the last thing inside of this cow eyeball that you can see is this beautiful iridescent, very thin film. This iridescent film is called the tapetum. And one really interesting thing about the tapetum is that humans don't have one. The back of our eyes is black. And this tapetum helps cows and other animals such as like cats see better in the dark. So when you're driving at night and you see a deer's eyes glowing or a cat's eyes glowing from light, it's because the light is going through their eyes and bouncing off of the tapetum and shining back at you. And that is about it for our cow eyeball dissection. When you are finished with your cow eyeball dissection, you can throw all of your parts away in the trash. Take your tools and your tray, wash them out with soap and water in the bathroom, or spray them down really well, and put everything back nice and orderly in the bin that you got it in. Put your bin back in the cabinet.